Hey, how's it going? It's Walsh here, sick as always. Welcome to Ruthless TLDR. Today we are going to be talking about Alva and her league mechanic Incursion. We are quickly going to go over some main parts of it, but if there's anything you are specifically looking for, please look down in the chapters below. I will try to condense as much as I can, but of course I'm probably going to miss some things, so if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. We're going to start off by talking about every single tier 3 room. I am going to rank them and explain the rank that I've given them. I like to start at the bottom, so we're going to start with the D tier. First on the D tier, we have the Armorer's Room. This room increases the resistance and defense of everything in the temple, making it a lot harder, especially if you're a weaker character or early into the league. And all you get for a reward are these really, really terrible boxes that every once in a while can drop you a 6 socket item, but that's about it. I don't think it's worth it, but if you're really, really strong, I would move this up to a C tier. Immediately after that, we have the Strongbox room, which is, in my opinion, quite terrible. I have run it a good 40 to 50 times, which granted is a small sample size, but on Ruthless, that's a that's a lot of running. So the room basically only gives you the normal strong boxes, armor strong boxes, and etc. I've only seen an Arcanist box twice. I have never seen a Gem Cutters box, and I have never seen a Cartographer's. I'm not saying they can't happen. I'm just saying it's so rare it's not worth it. Immediately after that, we have the Hall of Legends, which is just the Legion room. I think Legion overall in Ruthless in its current state is pretty bad. But if you happen to be going for Ruthless, for Legion, this would be bumped up to a C tier. But in my opinion, it's pretty terrible, so I leave it at D. Following that, we have the Hall of Champions, which is very similar to the Armor Room. It just, instead of giving resistance and defense, it gives a ton of damage to everything in the temple while giving you just these really bad boxes that give you random weapons. And in my anecdotal experience, it's pretty awful. I would not recommend it. Even if you're really strong, like there's really no upside for you. After that, we have the House of Others, which is the Breach Room. I do not think this room is worth it at all compared to the power and the absolute loot that you can get from Temple. Getting some Breach Splinters and some trash is not worth it, in my opinion. After that, we have the Sanctum of the Immortal. This increases the health regen of everything in the temple. If you are low damage, this room right here can make your entire temple unbeatable. It can ruin the whole temple for you. Granted, you'd have to be pretty weak for that to happen, but I mean, this is ruthless, man. I've played some pretty janky garbage, and let me tell you, this room can really screw you up. I don't think the tier 3 room is very valuable, especially since we don't get incursion items, so you can't get that nice HP chest that you're looking for. After that, we have the Toxic Grove, which is poison plants, which basically do nothing. Even with really high quant and rarity, I've never seen like anything from the plants. It's just kind of a waste of time. All right, let's move on to the C tier. So for this tier, I would pretty much get this only if you specifically are looking for some things in here, or as we'll talk about later on, there's a little bit of quality of life stuff. Starting off, we have the Throne of Etziri. Essentially it's like, hey, if you need some at zero uniques, honestly, go for it. But remember, a lot of the mods in the temple will affect at zero, and Turbo at zero is kind of scary. But if you need like some at zero uniques, or you're trying to farm for Uber at zero, honestly, I'd bump this up to a B. But most of the time, I don't really give a crap about at zero, so it's not that great in my opinion. And just keep in mind, the harder you make the temple, the harder she will be. However, she will not get ghosted, so don't worry about that. Now we have the Glittering Hall, which increases your rarity and gives you some jewelry. This room is okay. Like if you don't really have anything else, Glittering Hall is okay. It's gonna give you some rarity and some jewelry, and maybe you'll get a rare like ring or something. Unlikely, but it's possible. After that, we have the Hybrid Minion, which if you get to tier 3 has a chance of giving you some stuff. Nothing great, but I mean it's okay. It doesn't really add any difficulty to the temple, so there's no really downside to be honest with you. Next, we have the museum, the artifacts. This just gives you these little boxes that are kind of like baby strong boxes. And honestly, they're not bad. They give you some free stuff, but once again, I would never pick this room over anything else. And then for the last room, we have the demolition lab. This room is pretty self explanatory. If your temple is pretty rough or you're having a hard time getting the stones of passage to unlock rooms, this room will carry you and open your temple. I would also like to point out, if you get this room to tier 3, if you have a character that can kill barrels easily, kill all of the barrels. You get a decent amount of currency for Ruthless, to be honest. All right, moving on to the B tier, we have the Apex of Ascension. This room allows you to swap uniques. However, it's not as strong as in the normal game mode. Remember, this is Ruthless. Everything is turned down here a little bit. This is a really good way to swap, like if you're looking for a specific weapon or body armor or whatever, but don't rely on it. Like just because you keep getting it, it's not gonna guarantee you anything. But not only does it have a chance of giving you a unique you're looking for, but it also has a chance of giving you a unique you didn't expect that could enable an entirely new build. I think this room is really fun. It has a lot of benefit, and I do pick it kind of highly. I pick it over everything else in the B tier, but that's just for me. I'm going to bundle these next two, the Conduit of Lightning and the Crucible of Flame. They basically do the same thing. They just give LE damage, or Fizz is the elemental damage that they are, to everything in the temple, and their little trophy at the end gives you a chance of getting a Atziri fragment. I'm pretty sure it's a 100% chance, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So if you're trying to get Atziri fragments, it's okay. And then of course we have the defense lab, which is for traps, which can give you a chance to get the unique trap gloves, which allow your cast speed to affect your traps, and you can also upgrade them to make all your traps cost life instead of mana. It's a pretty cool room. It's not too bad. Then we have the Hall of War, which increases the pack size of the temple, which, to be honest with you, is very significant. Very significant if you're going to clear the entire temple. Like, let's say you're trying, like, in my opinion, one of the best things you can do with Alva is maintain your maps and your gems. This helps you with maps because you're killing more monsters and getting that chance. Last in the B tier, we have the Storm of Corruption, which is the Tempest room. I know some people rate this very highly, but I have two main issues. One, you do not always get the Corrupting Tempest, which is the only one that matters. The Quant Tempest sucks. And two, you have to sit there and wait for the Tempest. It takes a very, very long time. However, if I do get a tier 3, like I don't pick this very highly, but if I do get one, I pick it over everything in C and D, and I pick it over like the Crucible of Flame and etc. But I don't pick it over anything in A or S. I don't pick it over the unique swap. I don't pick it over pack size because you have to spend so much time doing it. I just don't think it's worth it. But of course, the Storm of Corruption does have a chance of giving you a Corrupt 6 link, though I have never seen it. Next, we're going to move on to A tier. We have the Atlas of Worlds, which is very self explanatory. It gives you maps. You want it, period. Next, we have the factory. This increases the quantity of the map and also the life of everything inside of it. Honestly, this is the only thing that I don't pick over the Atlas of Worlds. Everything else I do. This room is amazing. Increasing the quant is just awesome. It's just very good, especially on Ruthless. Yeah, I know you might take this and an entire temple pick up nothing, but sometimes you'll take this and like I'll leave 6 times with full inventories of rares. It's just because one time or several times you don't get a lot of stuff, what you have to realize is quantity gives you the chance of something. It never guarantees it. Immediately after that, we have the Temple Nexus. Very self explanatory. It just, plus ones every single room that's near it, assuming you get it to tier 3. And if it's tier 3, you don't even have to connect the room. So it's pretty awesome. And then we have the Wealth of the Val, which is pretty amazing. It just gives you a bunch of currency. Take this room. It's very good. Last, we have our 3 champions. The first one being Doriani. Not only does this room give you gems, but it also lets you double corrupt a gem, which is awesome. Not only for getting Val gems, but for trying to get 21, 23, or just getting 21. And then, of course, we have the Locus of Corruption, which lets you double corrupt an item. I will say, though, if you're the kind of person that's only playing one build, drop this room down to a B and put up Atlas of Worlds here. If you're not, oops, sorry, I hit my mic. If you're not planning on playing multiple characters, this doesn't really do a lot for you. It can, it's really fun, but it's really not going to help you that much. I love it because I love playing jank. I love experimenting. I love taking, like, if you take a unique that isn't used and you double corrupt it and hit something crazy, that lets you make a new character. I love this room. It's one of the main reasons I love Alva so much. And then my second absolute favorite room is the Sadist room. If you get this room to tier 3, every single unique enemy, except for Atziri, will have a ghost. Now, if you get a smuggler, that means every single one of them will drop a unique. If you get a Val Cultist, every single one of them will drop a Val Orb. If you've played Ruthless, you understand how valuable a Val Orb is. And if you get an Embezzler, they all drop currency. It's pretty amazing. I hope I answered all your questions about this. Just a reminder, this image will be down below in the description. All right, very quickly, we're going to talk about the tree, in my opinion, and how you should go for Alva. You're going to come right up here, grab search, grab tour, go straight up. I have changed my tree. Don't pay attention to my tree right now. You're going to come up here, grab the scouting reports, get Kirac, go up here, grab resource allocation and contested development. Come up here and grab time dilation. Now, why are we doing this? These two right here are the main reasons that getting tier 3 temples are viable. If you don't get both of these, you will not get anywhere near as many tier 3 rooms as you should. Highly recommend you get both of these. I would literally not even do Alva if I didn't have both of these. If you have quests, save them until you have both. If you find wild Alvas, that's okay. Run those, they're free. Only come up for time dilation if you need it. However, that's like the general consensus. But however, I disagree with that because you get 3% chance, like an additional 3% chance to get Alva every time you complete a map. So I think it's really worth it. I don't think any of this nonsense over here is worth it. The Val Flesh Merchant, I tested it extensively, was terrible. Architects of the Val is cool. It does save you a quest. It's very efficient. However, you will get far less tier 3 rooms. Yes, I understand the argument of getting additional alphas on completion, but I just don't think it's worth it. Because my goal is to get those tier 3 rooms, not just finish incursions. This next section probably isn't going to be useful for a lot of people, but if you have a hard time completing incursions, maybe you just don't have a strong character, maybe it's early in the league or whatever, maybe you just don't have high clear speed, and you just, even with time dilation, you're having a hard time, I'm going to give you a couple of tips here and there. Hopefully that'll help you out, but it's not going to be anything mind-blowing. Alright, so what if you're in a temple that's very difficult, it looks like it's going to kill you, maybe you're really squishy or just have bad clear speed. What should you do? Well, don't go straight for the boss, kill everything else first. Get that nice time, that way you can chill and relax. Don't, if you're ever at the situation where you're like, I need to run in there and kill the boss before I die, just don't do that. Just avoid that. As you can see, the mobs could kill me here, but I'm just going around them. I'm ignoring the boss. The boss is doing something scary. I go around and I kill the other stuff. This character has really bad clear speed and the damage was really wonky, so I wanted to use him as an example. As you can see, even though like this clear speed is awful, I would call this abysmal. I still have plenty of time. And if the thing is, we're here, I was lucky and got the blue pack. If you don't see the blue pack, which there always is one, cross the other side, kill all the white mobs that do a little square. Just go around and come back to the boss. As you can see here, this character is terrible. Absolutely awful. Look how long it took me to do this, but we still did it with plenty of time. Kill all the trash, kill the blues. I'm going to show you relatively the same situation, but I'm just going to run straight at the boss. Pay attention to my time. So I know this character is weak, and I might not be able to kill the boss. So look at the time. Look at this. I have to like push, and I have 10 seconds left, but honestly, I barely got it. I got lucky with the crits there. Don't do that, because yeah, that worked out this time, but it's not gonna work out all the time. You don't have to kill the boss first. You can go kill everything else. And the main downside also to killing the boss first like that, a lot of the times you won't have time to finish the rest of the temple. You won't be able to kill all the other mobs. You won't be able to get the stone. Like in this one, I don't even manage to get a stone. So it's not worth it. All right, that's Incursion and Ruthless TLDR. I hope that answers your questions. I hope that helps you. If you have any feedback, I'd really appreciate it. I'm pretty much just going into this blind. I'm not really doing too many retakes or anything. I'm just trying to get you some information quickly so you can get back out to playing the game. If there is anything I missed, please let me know. If there's anything you'd like to see more or less of in the future, please let me know. It helps me a lot. I will have a link down below for the image so you can see the tier list of the tree. Hopefully that helps you. And just a reminder, always, always, always adapt to what you need, what you are looking for, and what you are trying to do. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you later.